In this lesson, we are going to provide a view for the user to be able to see all trashed posts and also permanently delete these trashed posts. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is go to the app.blade.php, which is our layout file right there. So resources, views, layouts, app.blade. Then add a small link to trashed post. So here we have post and we're going to have trashed post. So if I come right here, refresh, you can see we have trashed post. But I think since this is trashed, we probably want to have it on a separate menu. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create another menu. So we have an unordered list here. I'll duplicate this and we'll have another unordered list. But the post and categories are going to be on the first one, but the trashed one is going to be on the second list. So we have two unordered lists. Okay. So if I refresh right now, you can see we have trash posts under, but I'm going to push this a little above by giving a margin top of 5. Refresh. Great. So you can see we have posts, categories, and then the trash post is under. So if I click on trash post, at the moment it doesn't go anywhere. What we want to do is create a route for viewing all trash posts. So I'm going to come to the web.php, which is in my routes folder. Okay. Then I'm going to register a get route, get, and this is going to be trashed post. And the reason why we are recording this or registering this route is because the resources routes do not have endpoints for trash post. So here, this is going to be post controller at trashed. Okay, so we need to go to the post controller and we need to create the trashed method. So public function trashed, and I'm just going to copy this doc type right here just to describe what the method does. So this is going to display a list of all trashed posts. Okay, so this does not take in any parameters. So here we're just going to return exactly the same view, but maybe we want to fetch the trashed post first. So we're going to say trashed is going to be equals to post, and then there's a special method called with trashed and then get. And what it's going to do is it's going to fetch all the posts, because remember, if we call the all method, it's going to fetch all the posts but without those that have been trashed. But if we call the with trash method, it's going to fetch all those, even the ones that have been trashed, and return to us. So would return view, and the view we're going to be returning is the post.index view, exactly the same view with posts, but this time around they're going to be trashed. And notice that instead of using with post, I used a special method right here. So look at how we did it here with, and then we passed in two arguments, post and post all. But in this case, I used a dynamic method. So we have with and then we have post. And what Laravel does is it's going to pick whatever we have right here after the with and use it as a variable on the front end. Okay, so writing this is the same as writing this. Okay, so the reason why I'm showing you is so that if you're viewing a Laravel application, you always know that these two are exactly the same thing, so you're not lost. Okay, so now let's come to the web.php and make sure we give this route a name so that we'll use it on our front end. And this is going to be trashed post.index. And finally, in our app.blade.php, this is going to be linking to trash post.index. So if you come now, refresh, if you click on trash post, great, you can see a list of all the trash posts. If we go to post, it's not there. If you click on trash post, you can see it here. Awesome. Now what we want to do is go to our post index.blade.php and make sure that in case we are actually viewing a trashed post, then it's permanently deleted when we try to delete it. So this is what we're going to do. Here, I'm just going to have an if statement. So we can say post trashed, and this trash method is going to tell us if it has been trashed. So if it has been trashed, then this is going to say delete. Else, it's going to say trash. Okay, so if I come here, refresh, you can see it says delete. Okay, but since it has been trashed, we also want to get rid of the edit button. So we're also going to come here, and I'm just going to say if post has been trashed, and if. Okay, so probably we want to have a not. So if not post has been trashed, then hide this. So if I refresh, it successfully gets rid of the edit button. Now, the final step is when the user clicks on the delete, it should actually delete it from the database. What we are going to do is we're going to come to the post controller, and right here, the delete method simply calls delete. But we're going to say if post has been trashed, then it's going to call a delete permanently method. So post force delete. Okay, then else, then it's going to call post delete. Okay, so if post has been trashed, then force delete, else, then post delete. And probably want to just stick to post deleted successfully in both cases right here. Okay, so now let's see how it works. If I refresh and I click on delete, we have some strange behavior. We have a 404. And I'm going to give you a second to try and guess exactly why we have a 404. It's because we are using route model binding. So right here you can see Laravel is going to try to find this post from the database. But then it's going to find out that this post is actually not in the database, which means that route model binding cannot help us in this case. Okay, so what we want to do is simply take the ID, which means not use route model binding, and then find the post on ourselves. So we're going to say post equals post with trashed, okay, where the ID is the ID that we get from the URL, and we'll get the first record. Okay, so if we come back, refresh, click on delete, great, now it works because we are not using route model binding, which doesn't care about those that have been trashed. Right now we are finding it on our own. Now for security, instead of using the first method, we can use a method called first or fail. And what this is going to do is, if it doesn't find the record, it's going to throw an exception, and Laravel is going to catch that exception and show us a 404 page. That's awesome, right? So we automatically see 404 pages when the user is trying to delete a post that does not exist. Awesome. So post with trashed, where the ID is this, and then we first or fail. And if this is your first time seeing this syntax, this is simply how we do where clauses or where searches in a Laravel application. And this is what we call the query builder. And we're going to talk more about it. But you can see how we can find records right there. So where the ID is equal to. So if you want to do something else than equal to, you can pass it here. You can do greater than, you can do less than, you can do greater than or equal to, you know, depending on exactly what query you're trying to use in your database. Awesome. So this is great. We have permanent deletion. We have trash deletion. So let's go ahead and add a post to make sure this works fine. So we'll have a description, some content, published art. We're not working with that yet. I'm just going to upload an image. Click on create post. And you can see post created successfully. Yes. And then we're going to trash it. It's trashed. If we come to trash post, we can see it there. When we click on delete, it's deleted. It's neither in post, it's neither in trash post because it's gone for good. Awesome. One last thing I'm going to do in this lesson is, if a record is not in a table, we probably should not show that table. Okay. So if this table is empty, let's show a message that says no records at this moment. Okay. So we'll come to our index.blade.php, and right here, instead of showing the table, we're going to have an if statement. If post count is greater than 0, else, which means here, if the number of posts is more than 0, notice the count method right here is going to help you know the number of records that the posts have been sent here. Okay, so remember, from the controller, it fetches the post and then it counts it right here. So if we count and we see that it's more than 0, then we show the table. Else, we're gonna have a message here that says no post at this moment. So I'm just gonna have an h3.text center that says no post yet. And if I refresh, great, you can see no post yet. If you come here, we have no post yet. And for the categories, we can do the same. So let's just go to the categories, index.blade.php, and right here, instead of having a table and a modal, I'm just gonna cut and then have an if statement. So if categories count is greater than 0, else then the end if. So I'll just paste that there, and here we're just gonna have an h3.text center that says no categories yet. Okay, so if I refresh, you can see no categories yet, no post yet, no post yet. Awesome. All right, thank you so much for watching this lesson, and I'm gonna catch you on in the very next one.